Okay. The hair, the hair's just what it's going to be. When I got married in the year 2000, they used to call me Sam Malone. That hairstyle, thank God I got rid of it. My barber talked me into doing the Caesar, cut it short, comb it forward. But now, I don't want to put crap in my hair. I don't want to do it. I don't really want to get haircuts. I just want to let it grow long. But the only way to let it go long is to go through this awkward boofy stage. Oh, how the days were when all we had to worry about was what our hair looked like. We've got a few more things to worry about today. Welcome to October. You can't have regrets for the bad things that happened to you. They're just as important as the good things. I've learned way more from my mistakes than I have from my success. I said Hollywood would die the day I pulled out of town.
We're good. You got your seatbelt on? Seatbelts? Seatbelts!
I just don't think there's time in life to hold a grudge. You gotta get through it, move through it, figure it out, look for something fun to do. But don't ever miss an opportunity to call someone out for being a dick. I wasn't the one who started this bullshit, but I will do what it takes to end it. So today I was sort of reminiscing a little bit on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Anybody have any experience with that? I get it sometimes when I hear people escalate an argument. If you've ever had an anxiety attack, which I was lucky enough to not have an anxiety attack until I was almost 42 years old, until I took on life problems. I was at that age where bills, marriage, kids, job, career, where it was all just stacking up. And I hadn't felt anxiety until then. At least I didn't think I did. Well, I did, but for different reasons, let's say. But now anxiety is just sort of here to stay. People are afraid for good reason. We have a lot to be afraid of. The division, where we're going, is our country even on track to land at a place that's going to be safe for everybody? Is everybody going to have equal opportunities? Will things be the same tomorrow, or will they be like they have been the last decade? And yeah, it's been a decade since I started running a business in 2015 with a group of people that I'd known my whole life. Ever since then, life has not been the same. It's not been the same for me. That is for sure. There have been a lot of changes. We've lost people. There have been suicides. People have moved away. Lots of change has taken place around these parts. I love where I live. I love the Puget Sound. I will never be able to live anywhere else, at least for part of the year. We have the best summers, hands down, than any other place in the country. No question about it. But what is it going to take for me to stay here? I've been labeled a Trump supporter. I've been labeled canceled. I've had my reputation slandered. I've had people turn their backs. I've had people kind of insinuate that they're not allowed to talk to me. They're not allowed to show support. I'm not exactly sure why yet. I'm in the process of trying to get one side of my family to start communicating again. Discuss what is causing all the family division. See, my dad is sort of been isolated from his family. He has 3 brothers. They all live on the same property together. They're all married to the same women. I've got 17 or 18 first cousins, 30-something second cousins. Huge family. But my dad, he's out. Doesn't talk to anybody. In fact, he doesn't even talk to us. He's isolated. He's alone. He's done. My dad, your classic covert narcissist. with a gambling addiction, destroyed lives, spent all my stepmother's money, every dime. It's really, really, really toxic. So my dad's family, they would be considered the right-wing Christian conservatives. Never been political. I've never heard a political speech from any of my aunts and uncles, or all they'd lobby for is church. Get in church, get in church, get in church. But that was it. There was never any discussion or dialogue or solving any problems, figuring out why somebody's resentful. It was more of a paint on a smiley face and just pretend life is good. Anybody recognize that? Because that tactic used in a family, just keep up a good image. Be happy, smile at one another. Don't talk about the stuff that's difficult to talk about. We know it's there, but just pretend like it doesn't exist. That's the easy way to handle it, right? It's avoiding conflict, avoiding pain, avoiding trauma. Well, what does that get you when you avoid talking about things that hurt? Avoid talking about deep scars and pain that keeps families from communicating with one another. It's usually money. And these days, it's all about money because grandparents are dying. Family estates are being carved up, handed out. And when that happens, that's when you really find out who's in and who's out. Anybody dealt with this? It's the importance of why having a family trust, having an estate, a will, a fiduciary, a trustee, or an executor, who knows what they're doing? Who knows how to handle having and wielding the power of fiduciary responsibility? My dad sure wasn't the one who should have wielded fiduciary responsibility anywhere. And my uncles remind him of that, I think, every time they see him. In fact, he's not even allowed around, not even allowed on the property. And I'm pretty sure the reason that he's not allowed ever to come back is because my mother, she had an abortion when I was 16, maybe 17 years old, 1990, 91. Yeah, she was a really bad alcoholic. Some of you may have seen the story. I have a few videos talking about it. It was hard watching her kill herself, essentially. But my mother's decision to have that abortion, she knew it wasn't the right call for her to have a baby in her 40s. As an alcoholic, as bad as and as much as she drank every day, that was the right decision. But according to my dad's family, that wouldn't have been the right decision. She should have had it. She should have gave it up for adoption, blah, 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 even if it would have risked her life. I agree with that abortion. I do not have an ideology that thinks that abortions should just never happen. They should happen. Now, do I believe that you should, if you make a baby, that you should give that baby a chance? Because that baby didn't get to choose. We don't get to choose our parents. We're dealt our parents, and that's all we get. You get good ones sometimes, and you get really shitty ones sometimes. And sometimes, even if we get the shitty ones, we're supposed to just paint on a smiley face and make sure everybody thinks that we've got the greatest parents in the world to ensure that we stay in good graces with either the patriarch or the matriarch. Because we know around here in these liberal parts, there's a lot of women that run the family, which I'm a believer in. I believe you should be running your family, leading from the front, if you know how to lead, if you're making the right decisions, if you can critically think and make good decisions for the family. So I don't believe in the patriarchy. I'm not a Trump supporter. Never was. I was just a guy who supported the underdog. I was a guy who supported the one who was maybe supposed to lose. Because I was the kid who was told I was going to lose my whole life. I didn't do my schoolwork. I didn't get good grades. I got kicked out of high school. I have a little bit of college. So I was criticized and kept small and just told I was going to be nothing my entire life because I didn't follow the rules. I didn't listen to what everybody told me needed to be done. I did it my way. And maybe that was because my parents were so selfish and controlling. I don't know. But everybody should have the choice to do it their own way, if that's the way they want to do it. And I believe in that. So why was I canceled? Since I wasn't a Trump supporter, I was operating a business that would have been great for the community. I mean, sure, it was recreational cannabis. A lot of people have their views on cannabis. Is it good? Is it bad? Well, I always wanted my mom to switch to cannabis, stop drinking, start smoking joints. Tried to get her to do that multiple times. I was kind of thinking that starting this business, it might change the perspective on cannabis. That everybody's going to medicate themselves however they do it. Drugs, alcohol, sex, pharmaceuticals. We've created thousands of different ways we can medicate. Now it's digital, virtual reality, social media, whatever. It's just a new name for the same garbage that we take in, garbage out. But this is one thing that I know for sure will never happen. We will not solve any problems, any differences, anything, unless we decide that we're going to talk about said problems. What the roadblocks are. Why is there resentment? Why is there hate? Why is there this? Why is there that? And getting through to that point. And we'll only get through to that point where dialogue is had if you want to solve the problems. And I'm pretty sure in my dad's family, I'm pretty sure nobody wants to solve any problems. I think they would just assume my dad never come back. In fact, if he committed suicide, which he may have already done, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't care. Now, is that Christian? Is that the way that Jesus wanted people to be treated? Family to be treated? I don't think so. See, I left the Christianity path, the going to church on Sunday, the following the Bible, the memorizing my Bible scriptures and all that stuff. I left that not because I didn't like the story or I didn't believe it or I was a science guy. I left it because there was so much hypocrisy that it just was stupid. Whenever I see hypocrisy, I just turn my back, go the other direction. People will only make an effort to solve their differences if there's an advantage in it for them to solve their differences. And the advantage that all of us have to solve our differences right now is way bigger than just maybe your personal inheritance or your personal wealth or to save face or to not get caught for lying. If we don't solve these differences and come back to some sort of a, hey, we're all living on the same ship, on the same rock, traveling in the same universe that we have no idea where it's going. Until we just kind of grasp that as a community, as a people, as a nation, we're not going to solve any of these differences. I don't hate the people who did the things to cancel me, to slander me, to whatever was done. I think my curiosity more than anything is driving me right now. I'll find out. If I ever do get this broadcast broken through into the algorithm and start getting some followers and some people who want to discuss these things, some of these more rooted issues in family, I may find some answers. I hope I do. But I don't hold the people accountable, nor do I want to see them held accountable for what they did, whether it be defamation or slander, or whatever it was. It's easy to ruin a person's character, especially when people are looking for reasons to ruin a person's character because they might be a threat to democracy. If we keep on that path, all we're going to do is continue to ensure that real victims, real people who need to be called out for their shit, don't get called out. It's the boy who cried wolf on a massive scale. So we should probably think about knocking this shit off and just moving on. Enjoy October. It's starting off dry.